Hello students, I hope you all are doing well and will be studying at your places. In last video, I started the chapter 12 proportion and I told you what is the proportion. In proportion, four terms are there A, B, C, D. Okay, first, second, third and fourth. Here we are going to talk about the continued proportion. In continued proportion, only three terms are there. What is the continued proportion? If three terms A, B and C are there and all the terms are of the same type and in the same unit and they are written like A is to B is as B is to C, so this will be called the continued proportion. Okay, as you know, it can be written like A upon B is equal to B upon C. Got it? And if this is in the continued proportion, so you know in proportion the product of mean term is equal to the product of extreme term, and it can be written like B into B means product of mean term is equal to product of extreme term A into C. B into B will be the B square is equal to A into C. From here we can find out the value of B. B will be under root A into C. So this is the formula. By using this you can find out the mean term. Okay, if the three terms are given and the question is saying that find out the mean term, so by using this you can find out the mean term. After that, I would like to tell you to find out the square root. Got it? What is the square? A square is the number and the value which is obtained by multiplying a number by itself. Means if we will multiply 12 by 12, we will multiply 12 by itself, we will get the 144. So it is the square of 12. This is the square of 12. 144 is the square of 12. Similarly, the square of 15 will be the 225. When we multiply the 15 by itself, we will get the 225. Now, what is the square root? A square root of a number can be obtained which is perfect square of a number. Means square root can be obtained of the 144, 225. Okay, because these are the perfect square. We cannot find out the square root of the 133. We can find out, but it is not a perfect. If we will find out the square root of this 133, so it will come in the decimal. Now I'm just going to tell you how to find out the square root of 144, 225 and other perfect square. See here, suppose the 144 is written like this under root 144 and we have to find the square root of 144. I have already told you about the prime numbers, how to find out the prime factors of the given number. Okay, so we will find out the first of all prime factor of the 144. I'm just telling you how to find out the square root of 144. So we will write the 144 like this, and to find out the prime factor of given number, we always divide the given number by the smallest number. So we will divide it by the 2, 2 sevens are and 2 twos are. 72 is still divisible by the 2, so we will divide it by the 2 again. We will get the 36. Okay, now it is also divisible by the 2, 2 18s are, and 18 is also divisible by 2, 2 9s are. Now the 9 is not divisible by the 2. 9 is divisible by 3. 3 3s are and 3 1s are. We will divide the given number until we will not get the 1. Got? After that, we will make a pair of these numbers. You know, in pair, two things are there. So, first pair, second pair, and third pair. Now, from each pair, we will take the single number. Here, 2 are there, so we have taken the 2 from this. From here, again we will take the 2, and from here we will take the 3. We will take the single number. Now we will multiply these number together, 2 to the 4th is a 12. So the square root of the 144 is 12. You can check it as I told you here. The 144 is the perfect square of this and 12 is the square root of the 144. Now I am going to tell you the square root of the 225. How to find the square root of 225? 225 225 is divisible by 5. 5 4s are 20 and 5 5s are 25. 45 is again divisible by the 5. 5 9s are okay, and 9 is divisible by the 3. 3 3s are, and 3 is divisible by the 3. 3 1s are. I told you we will divide until we don't get the 1. Now we will make a pair of the same number, 5 5 and 3 3. From 5 we will take the 5, from 3 we will take the 3, and now we will multiply. 5 3s are 15. Okay, so the square root of 225 will be the 15. Got it? So by this method you can find out the square root of the given number. Now I am just going to tell you the exercise 12b. Okay, the first question of this exercise is saying if x, y and z, x, y and z are in continuous proportion, then which of the following is true? Some statement are given here. For the question you can just look into the book. The first is saying x is to y is equal to x is to z. Second is saying x is to x is equal to z is to y. And third is saying x is to y is equal to y is to z. And fourth is saying that y is to x is equal to y is to z. As I told you, in continued proportion the mean term is always same. You can see here x and y are the mean term, but these are the different. Here x and z are the mean term, but it is the different. And here x and y, again these are the different, but here y and y, the mean term are same. So this is the right answer. Means x is to y and y is to z are in continued proportion. In continued proportion the mean term is always same. Now the second question. Second question is saying which of the following number are in continued proportion. The first part of this question is saying 3, 6 and 15. Okay, in this question you have to tell that are these numbers in continued proportion or not. So for this, if they are in continued proportion, so you can write it like 3 is to 6 is as 6 is to 15. Okay, if these are in continued proportion, so you can write these three terms like this. Now as you know that in continued proportion or in proportion, the product of mean term is always equal to the product of extreme term. So the product of mean term 6 into 6, product of mean term, okay, that is the 6 into 6 will be the 36, and product of extreme term will be 3 into 15, and that is the 45. And 36 and 45 both are different, they are not same. So 3, 6 and 15 are not in continued proportion. Now let's check the third question I am going to tell you of the same question. Question number 2. It is written 6, 12 and 24. It is saying check whether they are in continued proportion or not. So if they are in continued proportion, so we can write 6 is to 12 is as 12 is to 24. Got it? So as you know, the product of mean term is always equal to the product of extreme term. So product of mean term is equal to product of mean term. 12 into 12, 12 into 12 will be the 144, and product of extreme term will be 6 into 24. Okay, so again you will get the 144. It means 6, 12 and 24 are in continued proportion. Got it? So whenever the three terms are given and you have to check whether they are in continued proportion or not, so by this method you can find out. Now the question number 3. The question number 3 is saying that find the mean proportional between the first part of saying 3 and 27. You have to find the mean proportional between the 3 and 27. Got it? Here the two terms are given, 3 and 27. Suppose mean term is equal to x. Mean term is x. Okay, so if they are in continued proportion, so we can write 3 is to x is as x is to 27. If they are in continued proportion, so we can write like this. Okay, and you know, product of mean term is equal to product of extreme term. Product of mean term is equal to product of extreme term. So product of mean term x into x, and product of mean term is equal to x into x, and product of extreme term 3 into 27. So it will be the x square is equal to 3 into 27. So x square is equal to, it will be the 81, and x is equal to under root 81. Got it? So the value of x will be the 9. Got it? I told you how to find out the square root of the any number. So same method you will apply here. Okay, I'm just telling you. You will just find out the prime factor of 81. It is divisible by the 3. 3 2s are 3 7s are. Okay, and 27 again is divisible by the 3. 3 9s are, and 3 3s are, and 3 1s are. Now you will make a pair. From here you will take a 3, and from here, from this pair you will take again 3, and 3 3s are 9. Okay, so this is the question number 3. Rest of the question number 3 you will do on your own. I will tell you which question you will do. Now the question number 5. The question number 5 is saying the ratio between the 7 and 5 is same as the ratio between the rupees x and rupees 20.50. Find the value of x. So from the question it is very clear that the ratio between the 7 and 5 is equal to ratio between x and 20.50. Okay, it can be written as you know, like 7 is to 5 is as x is to 20.50. So we have to find the value of x. And you know, product of mean term is equal to product of extreme terms. Got it? So product of mean term means 5 into x is equal to 7 into 20.50. So from here x is equal to 7 into 20.50 upon 5. Okay, So we will solve it here. 20.50 is divisible by the 5. 5 4s are, 5 1s are, and 0. We will put the decimal after 2 digit because here the decimal is after 2 digit. Okay, now 7 into 4.10. When you will multiply it, you will get the 0, 7 and 28. 7 for the 28. Okay, so this is the value of x. Got it? Now I'm just going to tell you the question number 6. Okay, the question number 6 is saying that if 4x plus 3y is to 3x plus 5y is equal to 6 is to 7. Okay, so first part is saying find the ratio between x is to y. We have to find the ratio between the x and y. So how do you solve it? As you know, the product of mean term and product of extreme term. So we will do same thing. So product of mean term or extreme term, whatever you can write, extreme term is equal to product of mean terms. Product of extreme term, this and this, 4x plus 3y and 7 are the extreme. So 7 into 4x plus 3y you will write is equal to 6 into 3x plus 5y you will write. Okay, now you will multiply 7 4s are 28, 28x plus 7 3s are 21y is equal to 6 3s are 18x plus 6 5s are 30y. Got it? Now you will just separate the different variable, means you will bring the x left hand side and you will just take the y right hand side. Okay, so 28x, and when the 18x will come here, it will be of minus, and 30y, when the 21y will come here right hand side, so the sign of the 21y will change. I have already told it in the algebra. Okay, this is called a transposition. I told you in the algebra. Now 28 minus 18, we will got the 10x is equal to, and 30y minus 21, we will get the 9y. Okay, so x upon y, y will come here, x upon y will be the 9 upon 10. This is the answer, means this is the ratio of x is to y, means 9 is to 10. Got it? So this is the solution of the first part of the question number 6. Now I am going to tell you the second part of the question number 6. As you know, we have got the ratio of x is to y 9 is to 10. The second part of this question is saying find the value of x if y is equal to 10. If y is equal to 10, then you have to find the value of x. And the given things is 4x plus 3y is to 3x plus 5y is equal to 6 is to 7. Got it? Now we will put the value of the y in this ratio. So 4x plus 3 into 10, we have just put the value of y, and is to 3x plus 5 into 10 is equal to 6 is to 7. So it will be the 4x plus 30 is to 3x plus 50 is equal to 6 is to 7. Got it? Now same thing we will do, the product of extreme term is equal to product of mean term. So 4x plus 30 multiply by the 7, because 7 and 4x plus 30 is the extreme term, and 6 into 3x plus 50, because both of these are the mean term. Now we will multiply 7 4s are 28 x plus and 7 3 the 21 means 210 is equal to 18x plus 300. 6 into 50 300. Okay, now 28x will remain same. Okay, we will do the transposition of the constant and variable, and 18x will come here and the sign of 18x will be changed, and 300 and 210 will come here at the right hand side. Okay, so 210, the sign of the 210 will be changed. We will got the 10x, and when we will subtract the 210 by the 300 we will get the 90. Now the x is equal to 90 upon 10, and 10 9s means the value of x is equal to 9. The third part you will do on your own. Got it? So these were the questions from exercise 12b which I told you, and I will just share you some questions from this exercise which you will do in fair copy. Till then you just keep practicing. Thank you.